Radhe Radhe everyone. Good morning, good evening.
Radhe Radhe.
Welcome to the quiz.
Okay. So, Radhe Radhe everyone. So happy Sharad Poornima to all of you. So we will have a small trivia on how well you know Maharajji, and then we will have our usual session at 9 anyways. But to warm up to Sharad Poornima, we are having this trivia. So we will participate and enjoy. We can have a bit of a discussion on this as well. Let me share my screen. You can put the and that in the chat, the thing in the chat. Everybody is joining right now. We'll give minutes to everyone. Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening, everyone. We are going to have a fun trivia today for you to know how more about Maharajji because it's a special occasion. And I'll talk about that. Today's focus or theme is going to be Sharad Poornima only. I'm looking forward to an engaging session and interactive session as well because we'll get to know a lot of facts about Maharajji, new facts probably, and for some of you it might be revision of some already known facts about him. That's how we are going to spend today's session. So you can start joining in. I've already seen MJ Kiddo is already there. Okay, MJ Kiddo. You can start joining in. We'll do a 30-minute trivia and then a session on Sharad Poornima, the significance of it, and get to know some fascinating facts about Maharajji today. That is going to be our focus today. So we don't have many participants as well, but I would encourage all of you to start joining in and play the game. Get to know how much you know about Maharajji. Pin is 135. You can see that on your screen.
The link and the pin are also there in the chat, so please join in. At least we have like 14 participants here. We should see 13 names here.
If I start right now, everybody will be in top 3. May not be a bad copy there.
That's right. Mr. Vinamra 7 has also joined. Are we counting this code for the team specific?
Always, every time.
Last time that made people get skyrocketing scores, Nitinji. I'll show that today. Selfless 1. Awesome. Radhe Radhe everyone.
Radhe Radhe everyone. We'll be starting in a few minutes. We're just warming up to the Sharad Poornima session today. We'll have our usual session start at 9. But let's spend a bit of time to run through a quick trivia about Maharajji. May have to start regardless. Let's give 5 minutes. It's fine. So very warm welcome to all of you. Happy Sharad Poornima. Hope you're doing good. Had a great weekend. Or getting ready for the upcoming week. Good to see you, Kavita. Early morning, you're open up.
So Vinamra 7 is a duo, husband-wife duo. It's Rupaji
and Vinod
and her husband. Yeah, that looks like a strong participant. 2 people in one name.
Yep. I think people joining in. I think we'll be a little slow at 30. Vinodji should be joining as well and playing as well.
If they are playing, it is going to be tough competition. They know the best about Maharajji among all of us.
Meenuji and Mr. Meenuji, you need to be in the quiz today. It is Maharajji's trivia. How well you know Maharajji?
Someone is playing with the name Guesswork.
Guesswork, huh?
And there is KM. Is that Kripalu Maharaj? possible, right?
No, Kedar Murarka, I think, maybe. That's an initial as well.
I would want to think about Maharaj, but let's see. Jai Maharaj Ji.
Jai Maharaj Ji. Yes, so we can start with, I'll give probably another 4 minutes and then we'll get started.
Yeah, 4 more minutes. I guess
People
people
can
are joining in.
keep joining in. At least we will warm up to the Sharad Poornima session by the time rest of the participants join in at our regular time. So we'll get started in at least.
Though I don't know, but I don't think questions are going to be very difficult. So please join in. Don't think that we may not know about Maharaj Ji. Why should we play? Everybody should play.
Very, very easy questions. I don't know if you'll be challenged or not, but it's going to be very simple questions.
You know, even if we don't know, everyone will not know. So that go by that logic and just play.
Yeah. At least we'll get to know some facts about Maharaj Ji, that maybe a few new facts as well, if you already know a lot of facts. Like Maharaj Ji. Okay, I'll give another 3 minutes and then we'll get started. So hope all of you are doing good. Next week we have would be in Diwali, same time next week. It's going to be a big event for us. Big event. It's like a big exam that's coming up for us, and looking forward to meeting you, Meenuji and Vinodji as well.
Yes, Meenuji and Vinodji are also coming in a few days, 3 days or something, right?
And I have already enrolled both of them for a cinema when they come here.
And Uday Kumar ji, like, okay, this quiz is not really from the class. It is going to be a general quiz on Maharaj Ji, Jagat Gurutam Kripaluji Maharaj. So don't worry even if you did not attend class for the last month.
Yeah, it's a Sharad Poornima special. So it's an occasion we will warm up to Sharad Poornima, the significance of it, and know some facts about Maharaj Ji. So today's session is all about Guru and Sharad Poornima, knowing about Maharaj Ji, and some trivia around that. Vinodji is all excited. Vinodji, I think you have an edge today, natural edge. I'm not putting pressure on you.
Radhe Radhe Vinodji.
So we have, let's try Bhakti guesswork. All right, I think we have about 11 participants. I'll give maybe another 10 and then we'll get started.
Sure. It's increasing. Now 12. So this is good now. From out of 17, 12 are playing.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Our percentage is much better than our 9 o'clock usual session.
That's right.
Percentage wise, it's good. Okay. So maybe we can get started. And by the time we reach 9 o'clock, we would have covered most part of it, if not all. So
please refresh your pages and make sure that you're still in.
Yes, I see 10. So check it out. We were 12 earlier. So maybe you dropped off because of the session. Check it out once more. I'll give you another couple of, maybe few more seconds to refresh your page to make sure you are there. Not missing out on it. Guesswork is back. Maharaj is there. Somebody has dropped off.
The link to join is in the chat as well as the pin is there. Please join the Kahoot and let's play.
Okay, so I think we can get started then.
I think so, Nitin. Yeah.
I said the odds of you coming in top 10 are very high today. Okay, so let me get started. All the best to all the participants. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar Ki
Jai.
All right, let's get started. Game on. Mona is joining. 20. Okay, that's fine. We'll start. Get under. All right. Sharad Poornima 2023 trivia. One, go. We start with a double pointer multi-select. Okay, so the question is, what are the facts related to Sharad Poornima? You have 1 minute, okay? And don't forget to submit. It's important to submit.
Is there partial scoring, Nitinji?
I think Kahoot is in a generous mood today. It may.
I like this moon and the reflection. It's pretty.
Like that? Yeah, you like all the pictures, I'm telling you. Okay, so I think 9 people got it. All right. So basically, everybody's right. You all start with the right answer. But who's more right, we'll see, because all options are right. So in this day, Maharas was performed, which is of course right. Dissension of Maharajji took place, that is also right. And because Maharaj took place, Lord Shiva became Gopeshwar Maharajji also on this day. He did not wait for the next day. And then moon comes out with all the 16 kalas. That is also correct. It is said that you put a kheer outside in the moonlight, and then the dew, it reduces the lactic acid, and the moonlight, the shine of the moonlight, it reduces the starch in the rice, and and when you serve it in a silver bowl, it is good for your immunity and body. Okay, so all 4 are right. Let's see our
What are the 16 colors?
16 colors is what Lord Krishna manifested, right? So like Lord Ram, he did, I think 12 colors, but Lord Krishna manifested all 16 colors. So I don't have the count each
No,
one
no,
of
that's fine. I just want to know what it means.
4 colors is said. Okay, they say that. So let's see. Jai Maharaj Ji is at the top, and Kedar Ji says,
That's
Kripaluji,
Pinu looks like. Looking at her excitement.
MJ Kiddo is on third, and Vinamr 7, good going. Annapurna Ji is in top 5 as well. So let's move on to the next question. The next one is, what was Maharajji's nickname at school? Mr. 100, Mr. 99, and Mr. 100.
Ideally, na, it should have been Mr. Infinity.
So the right answer is 6 of you got it right. 4 of you went with Mr. 100, and 3 of you went with Mr. 100, 101. Nobody went with 90. Right answer is 99. Okay. Not 100. For some reason, the teachers, they would deduct 1 mark. In India, the teachers, they never let you get complicit. One of the feedback they would always give about me is careless. So he used to cut 1 marks, and that's when Maharajji, even though he would do all his things right, they will deduct 1 mark, and he would always be on 99. So he was known amongst his friend as Mr. 99. So that is the right answer. Let's see who all got it right and what it does to our leaderboard. And by the way, he was a scholar of extraordinary abilities. He could complete stuff which people would take years to do in few years, and then one day he said, okay, enough of studies, and then we will build on this story later. But for now, let's move on with our leaderboard and scores. MJ Kiddo has come to the top. That's why I saw that excitement looking at 99 immediately. Jai Maharaj Ji has been flipped. It's just the speed part of it. I can have a shorter screen probably. But good going. And what else happens? KMG's solid, and Rupaji good, and Poonaji is doing good as well. So let's move on to our next question. Third question is, at what age was Maharaji conferred the title of 31, 32, 33, 34? Majority got it right. Yes, it was at 34. So he was born in 1922, and in 1957 he got that title before his birthday. So that technically he was at 34 years old then. So MJ Kiddo is on fire already. Jai Maharaj Ji is there. close on the heels. Vinamra, Annapurna ji and KMG, they are playing really well. Vinamra has moved on. Good, so he got it at a pretty young age of 34. Next question is, what is known to be the crown jewel of Maharajji's writings? His commentary on Bhagavad Gita, his commentary on Narad Bhakti Darshan, Bhagavatam, or Prem Rasakrant. Okay, overwhelming majority got it right. Yes, Prem Ras Siddhant or Philosophy of Divine Love. If you come across this book and you read it, and of course you'll understand it, it's mind-blowing. It covers anything and everything anybody and this book has a potential to transform your lives. So a lot of people, they came across this book and it just changed their life forever. That is how powerful this book is. And he is not given commentary formally. He said so many people come and write commentary on Bhagavad Gita, but he's given commentary on Narad Bhakti Darshan, and he's given commentary on Bhagavatam Ras Panchadhyay, specifically 10th canto. But Siddhant is the written book that he had, and that is called the Crown Jewel. Let's see what happens to our leaderboard after this. MJ Kiddo has decided today I'm going to win. Jai Maharaj Ji is doing good. Annapurna Ji came and Bhakti's in reckoning as well. Very nice.
Rani ji just hit an answer streak of 4.
Rani Ji, you're doing well. Very nice. Let's move on. Now it's a slider question. How many days did it take Maharaj Ji to write Prem Ras Siddhant? Crown Jewel.
I think you have put difficult questions.
Didn't you know it like that?
Huh?
Oh my God, what's the answer? Answer is
Oh, but if you're close to the answer, you get some points.
It's not Daskadam like Salman Khan does. Okay. You have to get it right, absolutely right.
No, you do get points if you are close to the right answer.
And maybe Kahoot is in generous mood. It might be giving you something. Let's see. Okay, that is good, Jam. Well, not much difference. Guesswork has climbed up and Bhakti is steadily climbing up as well, which is good.
And there are answers in the chat as well. Shyamji said 6.
Shyamji, you said 6, but you just reverse it, ulta. Then it is right. You are right. Inverted way, yeah. Who else is saying something in chat? 6.
There were previously answers. Premras, Siddhant.
234. Okay.
Yeah.
Kavita has done her homework, looks like. She is all prepared. Good job, Kavita. I see a couple of your answers in chat. You're doing good. Okay, let's move on. Which is your favorite lecture series from Maharajji? Okay, it's not a graded question. It's a cloud. So everybody's right on this one, and they get equal points. So Maharajji has some amazing lecture series. So you can put in the ones that have.
There is word limit. What if one wants to put more than one?
Okay, we'll go with the Bhavs. The word limit, just one word. There are multiple of them. Anything that comes to your mind immediately.
You can also put it in the chat.
Yeah, you can put it on the chat as well. You see the circle? I hope you like this circle.
Bhakti Mandir.
Yeah. Bhakti Shata commentary from everything Macon.
Mera Khan.
Bhakti Shatak. Ras Panchadhyay, Pralas, Prem. Very nice. Yeah, Bhakti Shatak is, of course, Gagar Mein Sagar kind of a deal. Um, and my favorite is the MK2 Macron. Instead of it's a different other, just to hear it, you have to be in very, very, extreme focus is needed for that, because deep philosophy, and if you understand, if you follow it, there's nothing else to be known. There's nothing remains to be known. It is so deep. But you have to go past at least 7, 8 lectures and be on your toes all the time, thinking wise, what's going on, what's going on. It's a beautiful series, and plus other To Tum Hi Man Lo Har, and then Bhakti Shatak, of course, is there. And there are so many series, Narad Bhakti Darshan. Maharaj has given us a treasure chest of so many lectures that you can simply keep on listening to it, and they are like at a different level altogether.
And
So,
Ras Panchadhyay starts with a discussion about the special day that we are celebrating today.
right, Ras Panchadhyay is a beautiful commentary as well. All right, so we are having a trivia. We have to warm up everybody to the session today, which is special session on Sharad Poornima. I'll explain you the meaning, difference, the significance of it. Next question: which title refers to the one who reconciles all philosophies propounded in the Hindu scriptures? All titles from Maharaj. Which one stands for the one reconciled?
If one starts reading the options, all the time will anyway go away.
Seven went Sanatan Vedic Dharam Sansthapan. Anyway, that I ran out of word limit for that too. But right answer is Nikhil Darshan Samanvyacharya. Samanvay means one who reconciles. And I'll talk about it. Maharaji actually reconciled all the philosophies. So MJ Kiddo is on fire, no stopping MJ Kiddo. Annapurna ji has climbed up after this question. Jai Maharaj is on third spot. Bhakti is doing well. LKM is doing well as well. So yes, there are so many philosophies: Advaitwad, Dvaitwad, Vishishta Dvaitwad, Vishuddha, Advaitwad, Bheda Bhed, Chinta Bheda Bhed. So Maharaj ji actually reconciled everything. And that is why one of the title that was given to him was Nikhila Darshan Samanvyacharya. So let's move on and move to our next question. Who is in the pick with Maharaj ji? Speed matters. Very difficult question. But I'm sure most of you will get it
But
right.
the answer can have variations, right? Huh?
Don't worry. You
Oh,
just have
it's not graded, is it?
no, just read it.
अच्छा, सही है. There are so many people who are answering in the chat.
Chat. Seem to know the answer, I guess. So anybody who said Swamiji, Swami Mukundan, Mukundan, Mukundanand, everybody. Oh, okay, I don't know how many more.
Someone wrote Swamiji with a Y, and I think they were marked wrong, maybe.
That much we can't. If you were accommodated in these answers, you are fine. These are the most. See, I put Mukundanand also because some people like they say the self-realization is Atam Gyan, right? In Punjabi, rather than Atma Gyan. So if you have taken away A, then also your answer is right. But any of these, hopefully you got it right. If not, then I don't know. I could have avoided any more answers because there are too many variations around it. But I'm sure most of you would have gotten it right.
And a lot of people have actually messaged in the chat, and everybody's right.
Yes, everybody's right. Very true. As you can see, there's not much fluctuation, so that's good. Guesswork is back in reckoning as well. Let's move on to our last but one question. It's a word cloud, which is a favorite of Maharajji's bhajans. I know there's no one. It's a very
Yeah,
difficult.
it's difficult one.
But we'll
Each
see.
every
What all
bhajan.
you can essence capture is that's fine. And if you want to sing a couple of lines, then you can do that too. That also you can put in your message.
Yeah, you can put it in the chat if you're not part of the Kahoot. You can put in your favorite bhajan of Maharaj in the chat. And if you wish to sing, you can just raise your hand, right, Nitinji?
A good opportunity to sing it. By the way, we have a special guest today who's going to sing the bhajan at 10 o'clock towards the end of the session.
An amazing singer.
Amazing singer, the nightingale of our kitty. I'm not
Yes.
sure.
Pyari pyari puri vari barsane vari. There's a comment from LAMSG.
मन राधे गोविंद राधे राधे नित सेवा मांगो बोल राधा बरसाने वाली. Very nice. Anybody who wants to sing a couple of lines, probably? No bonus points for that, but you'll get grace, I'm sure.
I mean,
Okay.
if
Which one?
why don't you sing?
For me?
Yes.
That's out of syllabus for me today. I have to...
I mean, okay.
Okay, very nice. Maharaji has so many bhajans, beautiful bhajans. So depending upon the mood you are in, he has kind of every kind of bhajan. You know, whether you want to practice detachment, virabhav, craving for Krishna, missing him, thinking about him, every kind of thing is been, you know, we'll go into some of the bhajans later part. So let's
And
move.
two people have in the chat mentioned Afsar Bhityo Jat.
Maharaj ji, okay, last question is considered out of it. Should be an easy question.
There's a request in the chat. We can ask Vinodji or Meenuji to sing Maharajji's bhajan. One line, two line.
Sure, couple of lines, very nice. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh, right. So yes, that's the right answer. I think that was an easy one.
Yeah, everyone knows it.
The clock on time for our session as well. But great participation. Let's look at our leaderboard. It is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the right answer. The second runner-up is Bhakti. Who's Bhakti today? Annapurna ji, very well done. And unsurprisingly, the first one is MJ Kiddo. I don't even have to do. Good. So let's see who's Bhakti today. And KM and Jai Maharaj ji. We make the top 5 today. So congratulations to all the winners. You want to come on screen and talk about it? I know who's MJ Kiddo. Bhakti, is that you, Kavita? Who's Bhakti today?
That's me, Nilesh.
Oh, Nilesh. Gee, very nice. Very well played. I must say that. That was wonderful. How was your experience playing this?
Oh, it was pretty good. We were playing as a family, so all of us were doing it.
Very well played. I can hear your little one. He is speaking behind.
They can switch on the camera. The winners can switch on the camera.
Yeah, that's good to see you. Hello. He's my little friend.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
Yeah.
So lovely.
Very nice. Very well played. Malaysian family. You guys were outstanding. Great. And Sandhya was MJ Kiddo. Sandhya, how was your experience playing the quiz? It was very simple, right?
The first time,
Oh, you got
It was fun. It's always fun playing and testing our knowledge about the special people in our life.
Yes. And today's session, like I said, it's going to be Sharad Poornima special. So we will talk about why this festival is so much of significance. Why are we talking about it? And from a Jivatma or from a soul standpoint, why is it such a special day? We'll talk about that. And of course, we will take inspiration from Bhagavad Gita as well today on why we are celebrating what we are celebrating. Okay, in that sense.
Do we want to hear from Vinodji? He was Jai Maharajji.
Jai Maharaj ji, please. Vinodji, how was your experience playing today?
It was wonderful, except as they say, I should listen to Mrs. Mino. Some of
Which
the questions I answered wrong, so my
which
fault.
which question did you get wrong? Which meaning right?
Well, a couple of them we were discussing and didn't answer in time.
Okay,
But the
okay.
99 was a good one.
Oh, Mr. 99? Yeah.
Yeah. I put 100, which I should know. And Swamiji's, I put Swamiji M. And I don't type too well. So
Okay.
it's okay. We did learn Maharaj.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, very well played. And who else was there in top 5?
You can see that, Nitinji.
I can see that. Okay, let me see that then.
Bhakti, Annapurna ji.
Annapurna ji. Yes, Annapurna ji. How about?
Let me unmute her. Radhe Radhe.
Yes, I liked it. It was good. And then I knew all the answers. I looked into it this afternoon, many of them. So, it's all Guru Maharaj's grace that I got. Second place, I was all the way behind and then I kept on going up. Multi-select, I knew all the answers, but I just selected 2. So I was very behind. But, fun, enjoy and learning, most important. That's what.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're a very consistent performer is what I've seen. So very nice. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Ipido, Annapurna ji, Bhakti, KM. Is it
KM?
Kedarji? And then Vinamr was
7.
Vinamr was doing good as well. Rani ji, they came in 9. Overall, selfless 8. Guesswork, let's try. They are pretty close by as well. On the pretty close to Jai Maharaj ji. So, Kedarji, very well played. I think you were KM today. So, congratulations to the winner. And today is Sharad Poornima. So, let's get started with our Bhagavad Gita session now. It's 9:03.
Nitinji, should I stop recording and restart or we continue with this?
I think we can continue with this. So,
Okay.
Sharad Poornima, so we'll continue with that.
Okay.
So, let's get started. You wanted to show a quick video to get the to set the
Yes.
context for today's session.
Yeah, I just within 30 seconds I'll do it. Yeah.
Let's start with the video. You may see some familiar faces. So let's get started with this video to begin with, and then we will get to our session today. A very warm welcome to all of you. Radhe Radhe. Happy Sharad Poornima. And good to see you back. Let's play the video now.
Yes. Okay, start. And I'll start playing it.
My Guru, Sri Maharaji, connected me, the soul, to Sri Krishna.
Has answers to all my questions.
He's the purest.
Our GPS, Golok Positioning System.
My mother, my life force.
Explained divine knowledge of Vedas to me.
Is shelter of love and protection.
Guru is gracious.
Guru is equivalent to God.
My life coach.
It's an angel sent by God.
Guides us in how to go up in this material life also.
It is a divine incarnation who is guiding us to our own divinity.
He is my spiritual master.
My mentor in the spiritual journey.
My special teacher.
He is the torch.
Helps me to go closer to God.
Is an association that goes much beyond one lifetime.
Okay, so we're talking about Guru and we are talking about Sharad Poornima as well today. So we will tie everything together in today's session. It's going to be a special session on Sharad Poornima only. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and get back into Bhagavad Gita mode. We had a quick trivia today to warm up the participants for the occasion, and we will build on that. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll start with our opening prayers like we always do. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Okay, so Radhe Radhe, morning, good evening. So, Kahoot, we have already played. So, this is what the significance of Sharad Poornima is what we will start with. Hope you enjoy this moon. Okay, you'll never hardly see it more brighter and nicer that you can see right now. And that is one of the things that happens on Sharad Poornima. So happy Sharad Poornima to all of you. Now it is said that, if you put a kheer in a silver vessel, typically people put under the moonlight. And like I was explaining in our quiz as well, that it is believed that when the dew falls into that kheer, during this occasion, so basically the lactic acid and all the stuff with the starch and with the silver and the moonlight and all the combo is very good for our immunity and body as well. It is accepted as a prasad because this night is special. We are going to talk about why it is so special. And the bigger reason that we have is on this night, we had the descension of Kripaluji Maharaj. In 1922, October 5th, on Sharad Poornima night, the descension of Kripaluji Maharaj took place. And we will talk about him today in today's session because we are closing in on Shloka 4.34, which we will take reference to today's session, which talks about the significance of Guru in our spiritual life. So we will talk about it. Okay, so that was a bit of an applause. Hope you enjoyed it. We put rose petals, more on Maharajji, less on moon, or maybe equally on both. So let's get started. So, Kripaluji Maharaj, he chose the planet, our abode planet Earth, and the location is in Pratapgarh district, Mangad, for his descension in 1922 on this day, the Sharad Poornima day. And this day is special in more than one ways. Why did he choose this day? I'll tell you. There's a reason for that, right? This day is not an ordinary day. So he was born in Mangad and Sharad Poornima night of October 22, 1922. So today is his birthday as well. In fact, we are celebrating last year we celebrated his centenary celebrations, and this year it is centenary plus 101 years. So the time that he took descension. Now, what is the significance of Sharad Poornima? Let's try to understand that. So if I ask you that, what is the most important festival from a Sanatan Dharam standpoint? Right? Some people would say that it is Holi, some will say it is Diwali. So there are multiple festivals. In fact, there are festivals pretty much every day. If you think about it, some or other thing, there's a significance of every day during the week and throughout the year, as per the Sanatan Dharam, because there are so many sages, saints, avatars that have taken place in Bharatvarsh. So there are festivals. However, let's understand the significance of Sharad Poornima. So from a Jivatma or a soul standpoint, who we are, Jivatma is us, soul is us. We will talk about the Charam Lakshya, or the ultimate aim, or the ultimate bliss that a soul can get, when you are beyond the cycle of life and death. What are the different levels around that? So the first one is, if you look at it, the Brahmanand, which is the bliss of Nirgun, Nirakar, Nirvishesh God, the formless God, the Gyanis that they get that. So that is the bliss a soul gets, the possibility of a soul. So if, let's say, you are beyond the cycle of life and death and you attained moksha, so this is the bliss you will end up getting. This is not an ordinary thing we are talking about. We are talking about spiritual prizes now. And each prize is better than, it's like out of this material world. You're already out of the material world. So in that categorization, the lowest category of bliss is the Brahmanand, Nirgun, Nirakar, Nirvishesh, when you worship God as a formless and you attain him as a formless light. The higher than that is Sagun Sakar Anand. If you worship God in his form, in a form that, okay, my Ishtadev, you have not seen God, but you visualize him as within a form. When you attain God in his Sagun Sakar form, that bliss is considered higher than the Brahmanand. And there you have some categorization as well, starting with Shant Bhav. Shant Bhav is, we've spoken about these bhavs, but I'll do a quick recap again. When you think of God as your king, it's a distant relationship, but you attain God as your king. So it is an object-subject relationship, like in Vaikunt it happens. So that is the starting point of, but the bliss of Shant Bhav is better than the bliss of Brahmanand. That has to be understood because it is Sagun Sakar right now. So the Shant Bhav is better than the higher kind of a bliss than the Brahmanand. I see Arya as well. Hello Arya, Radhe Radhe. Okay, and happy Sharad Poornima to you as well. Now, better or higher bliss than Shant Bhav is the Dasya Bhav, where the proximity between God and the devotee decreases. Dasya Bhav means now you have an ability to touch him, press his feet, or render him personal service. So that bliss is higher than that of a Shant Bhav, because in Shant Bhav, it's a subject-object and a distant relationship, like a king and his subject. Higher than Dasya Bhav is Sakha Bhav. Now you have some more privileges. You think of God as your friend, like Arjun did in Mahabharata, right? You can put your arm around him. So of course, a friend has more privileges than a servant or somebody who's approaching his master, more like from a serving standpoint. So a friend has more privileges. So the bliss increases. When you do the Sagun Sakar, Sakha Swarup Bhakti. Then the higher than that is Vatsalya Bhav. Vatsalya Bhav means when you take care of him as your kid. Now you have even more rights. Right? Like you see your kids, what all you can do. So that ras is even more higher, where you can tie him up with a rope and chastise him, or hug him, play with him. Much more privileges. And higher than that is Madhurya Bhav. Madhurya Bhav is beloved. He is my beloved, which is more like a conjugal love. You have even more rights, right? You can treat him like a kid, master, pretty much everything. So now you enjoy the highest level of privileges with God. So Madhurya Bhav is the highest level of bliss one soul can get. Now within Madhurya Bhav also there are different categories, right? Sadharani Rati. When you do Sakam Bhakti, then you get Sadharani Rati bliss. Sakam Bhakti means you are doing it for your own pleasure, like Kubja did. I don't know, Mirabai, some people say that also fell in that category, but I'm not sure about that. So first is Sadharani Rati. And then higher than that is called Samanjasya Rati, and the highest is called Samartha Rati. That is the peak. Okay, now there could be some more categories. I'm not going to get into that. So that is the peak. And this peak is basically was bestowed on souls on Sharad Poornima. So from a soul standpoint, the most important festival, if you understand the significance of Sharad Poornima, this was the night 5,000 years ago when Lord Krishna bestowed the highest possible ras possible for the Jivatmas like you and I. The eligible souls got that. So that is the significance of the Sharad Poornima night, or this festival. And this was the day which Kripaluji Maharaj Ji chose to descend on this earth as well. Okay, because he was an avatari. I'll get into that as well. Okay. So from that standpoint, let's understand it is it's an occasion actually for devotees. It's a very, very important occasion from that sense, even more important than Janmashtami or on Ram Navami or the Shehra or any other festival that you may want to think about. It's a very special occasion for devotees, especially who consider God, who are on the path of devotion and aspire to be on this path. So that is how, that is the significance of Sharad Poornima. Let's move on. So this is the shloka. Because why does somebody dissent, right? It's of course to help people out. And in case of Maharaj Ji, he's our Param Guru. And in Bhagavad Gita 4.34, we will not get into too many details here. Arjun asks, then how do I know the truth? And Krishna responds in question to Arjun. He says, Tad vidhi pranipaten pariprashnena seveya uptekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. That learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. And these spiritual masters are the one which descend from time to time to help people. As I will tell you that, even the age of Kali, there's been a sequence of spiritual masters that have descended, that have come in. And Kripaluji is one of them. So he's saying, by truth, by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him with reverence and render service unto him. These are the words are there. Seva that we keep on talking about, that word is here, service. Reverence is needed, service is needed as well. And then this is such an enlightened saint can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. These saints are the ones who have already seen the truth. And they come with the express purpose of helping souls like us, so that they can help us in our journey, across the material world. People who have a hunger for that, and people who have those past sanskars, God out of his mercy sends people from time to time, or he himself can choose to take an avatar as a guru as well at times, to help us along in this journey. So, Mool Jagat Gurus. Let's understand who are Jagat Gurus. So, it all started with Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, who's known as the first Mool Jagat Guru. Now, Mool Jagat Gurus are known as, who are already enlightened. They don't see, if you go to southern India, you will find Gaddi Dhari Jagat Gurus, many of them. Many means many. How do they become Jagat Guru? They are disciples of a Jagat Guru, original Jagat Guru, and then they take on that mantle and declare themselves as a Jagat Guru. Those you can find in thousands. Okay, maybe thousands is a higher number, but lots of them. But Mool Jagat Gurus are only 4 before Kripalu Maharaj Ji. Okay, they are the original ones which have been bestowed that title by a bona fide authority called Kashi Vishwa Parishad. So the first one is called Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, who propounded for absolute monism, that there is no other, and you are also God. If you go to Gyanis, there is a, this is the philosophy they follow, that there's absolutely no difference between you and God. I am that. If you read that book, or that lineage, if you follow, they say there's no difference between you and God. Monism completely. Then came Nimbarkacharya. 1,000 years ago, he said Vishishta Dvaitvad, or qualified monism, non-dualism. He said, okay, I'll not get into too deep into that philosophy. But the point here is that different Jagat Gurus, they kept on coming and they explained God from different lens. Our relationship with God also from different lens. And all of them were correct. It's like, those 5 men touching or not touching, they were blind men, but in this case, Gurus were not. They had absolute knowledge, but based on the era, Desh, Kal, Niyam, Patra, that means the place, situation, the kind of audience, and appropriate for that time, they choose to divulge a certain set of knowledge to the audience. And then people who start following that, it becomes the sacrosanct for them, that is the only truth. And then that is the reason Kripaluji Maharaj Ji came, and he did not pick up any sampradaya, because otherwise he would have been attached to some sampradaya and people would have said, okay, this is what you believe in. And what he did was he reconciled all the philosophies. He said everybody was right, and he explained the whole elephant rather than explaining one part of it. Okay. And after that came Jagat Guru Madhvacharya, which propounded Dvaitwad philosophy of dualism, and then until Maharaj Ji came finally in 1957, he was accorded the title of not only being a Jagat Guru, but Jagat Guru Tam. That means the best amongst all, because he reconciled all the philosophies. Okay, so this is the quick timeline of the original or the Mool Jagat Gurus. Let's understand the difference. First of all, Jagat Gurus, there you can find a lot of Jagat Gurus. Even today, people declare themselves as a Gaddi Dhari Jagat Gurus. But those Jagat Gurus and Mool Jagat Gurus are different. There are only 4, 5 are which have been accorded this status by Kashi Vishwa Parishad, and they are avatari Purushas themselves. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Now, let's understand the title that Maharaj Ji got, Sarvpad Vakya Praman Paraveen, the one who is proficient in all schools of philosophy, propounded in Vyakaran. So before I get into that, let me explain a little bit about him, so that we are able to appreciate whom are we talking about. So Jagadguru Kripalaji Maharaj, he was born in 1922, and he spent a lot of, he was somebody with extraordinary ability. Even as a student, like he was talking in quiz, he was known as Mr. 99 because he would always score perfect marks, and the teachers would deduct just 1 mark just to keep him, so he doesn't get they didn't know whose divinity at that point, right? So he was known as Mr. 99. And then he exhibited extraordinary scholastic abilities early on in his life. And then he went to forest, spent some few years there, and then to Vrindavan and all. But nevertheless, once he came back to public life, because he had come for a specific purpose. So I'll pick up some incidents from his life that actually, although he never chose to display miracles in his life, but because of his divinity, there were incidents that would manifest from time to time. And people who were in his close association, they would tell afterwards. So I'll tell you a few incidents about that. So when he came, from forest and Vrindavan, so he went to Mahu, which used to be close to Maheshwar and Mandaleshwar, and he would often do kirtans there. So in his initial days, he will simply do kirtans. He'll take his mridang, do kirtans, and distribute the divine ras of Radha Krishna love for Radha Krishna in his initial years. And he used to love very natural settings, like they will go out in a forest or along the coastline and just do bhajan kirtan throughout the night. So in that region, when he went to Mahu, there was in that region, the river Narmada was predominant there, right? River Narmada was there in that, and there were a lot of ashrams at its banks as well. And then once Maharaj Ji was sitting by the river side on one of the banks with a little group doing his Akhand Kirtan there. And what happens during that Akhand Kirtan, the news came that Narmada has started flooding. And the way Narmada, it's known to swell pretty quickly. Okay, this is the characteristic of river Narmada. Even if you go to ask people, that is how it used to be. And it started bulging, and there was a Panditji who came, he was from a hermitage at a higher altitude. He came, the river Narmada has started swelling, you better vacate this place. But Maharaj, because he was already doing kirtan, so he said, all right, let me see if that's the case. He took a stick out and drew a line where he was doing a Khand Kirtan. He drew a line there. And he said, Narmade, if you cross this line, I will see to you. And what happened? He kept on doing his Akhand Kirtan. Okay, this continued. And this news started. And then while Narmada was crossing over and inundating other places, river is a river, right? It restricted itself within that line. It never crossed that line. And this news started spreading around. And more people started joining his satsang. And then he started seeing new faces, said, what's going on here? And then somebody said, hey, the news has spent that you have drawn a line and Narmada has to obey that. So people are thinking you are somebody divine. So then he said, all right, the intent is never to win over people by showing miracles. So what he did was, he just moved up. He went to a cement embankment up the hill there and sat there with his feet pointing back, downwards. And the river started rising again. It kept on rising, and then finally it touched his feet, and after that it receded. Okay, so that was one Leela that happened that people talk about him. So from Vedic perspective, it is said that even the rivers, they have a personal form. It's not that they're impersonal. So even Yamuna, as was the power, Yogamaya Shakti of God, it has its personal form. It also manifested with Lord Krishna manifested. So even Narmada has its personal form, and it did not want to miss out on this opportunity because it knew the divinity of Maharaj at that time. So anyway, and during his initial days, he will not sit on stages and give lectures. And his kirtan used to be the main thing. Occasionally he would lecture, then he would simply close his eyes and give lectures for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, and he would continue. And the longest lecture that he gave was for 17 hours non-stop, without losing even an ounce of energy throughout it. And some Westerners came and sat through his lectures, and they were like, how can somebody speak non-stop without any dip in energy at all? And then he said, all right, you can. And then they decided to check on him. He said, fine, I'm open for that. You want to do that? They might have had some instruments and stuff like that. But then if you don't see a dip in my energy, then you'll have to subscribe to the philosophy of love for Radha Krishna. Okay, so he said, are you game for that? They said, yeah, sure. So they actually put all the stuff on him. I don't know what all they put to test out whether his energy is going to dip or not. And then they tested for 6, 7, 8 hours, nothing, no distance whatsoever. And they were so impressed. Then they started following Radha Krishna, and a lot of Westerners were introduced to that as well, love for Radha Krishna. That is what happened. So he used to lead a very nomadic lifestyle. He will change clothes wherever he will go to the new house and put his clothes there. Sometimes he will not eat for a few days, and when he'll eat, he'll continue eating so that is the kind of lifestyle he had initially. And whatever people would feed them, he will not even eat. They will feed him, put him in his mouth, and then he'll eat. That kind of life he used to lead initially. And there used to be a person called Justice Sinha those days. And also this guy, he wanted to become, he came to know about Maharajji, and like us, he had material ambitions. So he wanted to become the judge of High Court because that judge was soon going to retire. So he went asking for that boon. He said, can you make me the judge? Because I've really heard about your divinity and all. He simply smiled back at him, right? Because first of all, if somebody is a true guru, they will not give you material boons. Secondly, might have seen his prarabdha and all that stuff and he did not say anything. Now what happens? As opposed to becoming a High Court judge, he picked up with a fight with some Kashmiri Pandit there in his office, Kachju or something his name was, who was a very close associate of Nehru, the Prime Minister of India at that point. And because he had picked up a fight, he got him dismissed. Then he said, instead of becoming High Court judge, now I've got dismissed. And he developed resentment towards Maharajji. Like, it happens. I believed in you and you had the ability to give me something and you did not. He developed resentment towards him. So much so that he said, I'm going to harm him big time. And once, I think he was staying at one of the devotees' house and there was another friend of his, he wanted to meet him. He came and he went along with him, keeping a gun in his pocket. Okay, that I will do that. I will just going to harm him. That much resentment that he carried. So he went to that house, but people were there. So he took Maharajji, he said, okay, I want to take you out on a drive. He said, sure. He knew very much what his intent was, but smilingly, he just sat along with him. So he took them to a garden, and in the garden, he made him seated while he was trying to make up his mind how to carry out, shooting. And he was pacing back and forth, and he was quietly sitting there. And the whole day passed by. He could not pull out his gun. And what happened? And then finally, he dropped him back to home, and he told, you know what? He told the host, Lakshman Swarup was the name of the host, he said, you know what? I had planned for this, but something overpowering prevented me from doing that. I don't know what was that. I just could not get myself to bring my thing back, not even put my hand into the pocket where the gun was. And then he scolded him. He said, do you know who he is? First of all, you should not even be asking for such boons. And secondly, what you were thinking was just not on. Nevertheless, so then he was scolded, and then he just couldn't do that. So there was a person called Mahabaniji. That's where he used to stay very frequently, Mahabaniji. And he would stay there for even a month at times. And he had a daughter, so 75 years ago, that was the time, around that time, he would stay there, and then people would come and do satsang and listen to his lectures. They would sit, have, kirtans throughout the night. And he had 2 daughters as well. So I'm going to tell you some aspect of his divinity, which used to get manifested from time to time. And the little girl, she was Urmilaji. Her name was Urmilaji. And her father, Mahabaniji, would arrange for special spoons and put ghee in the dal and serve people who would come for kirtan, and kirtans would go until midnight. And he himself was a very elevated sadhak. So what he would do after the kirtan, he would play his tanpura and sing till 4 a.m., even after everybody has gone to sleep. And what he would sing was that, Deen sun lo Dinanath ki, that I am a destitute God. Why don't you listen to me? And he'll keep on singing that, till 4 a.m. in the morning. And then the interactions that they used to have used to be very, very informal there, because, they were Maharaji very informal with them. So one day, he was reading his Urmila ji, the little daughter of them, Maharaji was having a informal interaction with them. So he was looking at their hands. So, and then he said, while he was looking at her hand, he said, there is somebody outside. Why don't you go check it out? Somebody has come to meet me. So this girl, small girl, she ran to check out who's there. So when she ran out, she saw a boy with a blue hue complexion. He had matted hair and a trident in his hand. And that man said, can you call him out, Maharaj ji out, the Kripalu ji out there? And the moment he heard that, he jumped from his seat and went out. And when he went out, he called from outside, Shankarji is here, come and have his darshan. Okay, so the entire family ran out, but by the time he was gone. Anyway, so Shankarji also, it is very, very well documented. So he might have had those kind of interactions as well. And then once what happened that Maharaj ji, he was sleeping outside. He said, I'm going to sleep outside. Those days, there weren't any ACs or anything. So he said, I'm going to sleep outside today. So there were two little daughters there. The parents had gone for marriage. So they said, you are planning to sleep out, but it may rain. The clouds are coming. He said, no, don't worry. Okay. But if they do come, you can take me and put me inside. So they said, but if they do come, how can we put you aside? We are little girls and, you are full sleeping here. You must be pretty heavy. How can we lift you? He said, no, that's fine. It's not going to, let's check it out, whatever happens. Then he just casually went to sleep and the clouds started coming. And then the direction was given that they were supposed to lift him, and both the little girls, they tried to lift that bed on which he was sleeping. And to their dismay, it was as light as a feather. And they were able to lift it and put it inside. The moment they put it inside, the clouds vanished, and then they again put it back. When they would put it back again, the clouds would come, again they'll put it inside. And this drill continued throughout the night. Okay, so basically it's more kind of a save opportunity was giving, but this is also, they were now Urmila ji, she documented all these incidents that happened, and the bed used to become light like a feather. So anyways, in one of those days, what they realized was that the doors used to be shut. When Maharaji would sit, the doors used to be shut, and there would be some hushed tones that would come, some voices that would come from those doors. It almost seemed like that there is some kind of a party going on inside, or a conference going on inside. And whenever they would ask, Mahabani ji would ask what's going on inside, he would avoid the topic, right? And he was always used to wonder, are there ghosts or angels he's speaking to? Because there's nobody inside the room. He had told them, just put the jug of water and food for me. And the door used to be closed, and there would be some voices that would come from inside. And finally, he became confused toward they would try to peek and, try to listen and all that stuff. And then he said, all right. So he said that, what's going on in the present age of Kali, people don't understand the true meaning of the scriptures. That meaning is lost. So what is happening is because I'm writing Premras Siddhant. In those days, he was writing Premras Siddhant. And one of the quiz questions that we asked was how many days it took them to write. It was 9 days. So when he was writing that, the Vedic Rijhas, the Vedis are like all the Vedas, they also have a personal form. The Vedic Rijhas would come and have that discussion with him, that reveal us, or this is the best way to reveal us. So Premras Siddhant, when he wrote, those Vedic Rijhas would themselves come and converse with him, and they would sit, talk, and that's how he wrote that. Okay, so that's another. And then they said that because the sage of your eminence has come, and you reveal the true purport of our scriptures, it's time which has come to reveal the true scriptural knowledge. So this is another incident that happened. You can only imagine the kind of stuff that used to happen, people who were in close contact with him. So this was another one. And then he thought, now the reason for which my dissension has taken place, I have to start fulfilling that well. So he went to Allahabad, he went there, and when he had written this book, he wanted to get it published. So he sat behind one of his friend's scooter and they went for the publisher's office. When he reached the publisher's office, he thought that he's not sitting, nobody's there, the seat was vacant. But when he met the publisher said he already came 15 minutes back. He did the proofreading and he went away. He said, how is it possible? He goes back home. And there, the host, Lakshmi Prasad, he's saying, he's standing with a stick that, I've been waiting for him. He's not coming. And then they hear his voice comes from inside. He says, I've been here for the last 2 hours and your wife has served me breakfast as well. So those kind of leelas he used to do where people would not know what's going on. So he would do that and people experience those kind of things as well. Anyway, so what the first official thing that he did was, I think in Chitrakoot, he did a Sant Sammelan. So what he did was he called all the prestigious people who would recite Ramayan, Bhagavatam, and the Kathavachaks, the Gaddidharis, Jagadgurus, and everybody, about 70 of them. And he became a Swagat Adhyaksh for them because he thought now its time has come to reveal the true purport of scriptures. And we need to be talking about some of the very important questions in life. So he called them. So he would go receive them, give them an umbrella, give them very good hospitality. And he created this congregation of 70 people, eminent people during those times, and posed them 3 pertinent questions. The first question that he posed to them was that there are so many scriptures which are presenting different views. Please reveal the unity amongst all these Vedic teachings so that we can know that they are manifesting from one source only. The second question that he posed was that previous acharyas have presented so many pathways to the supreme, Dvait, Advait. You see the acharyas on your screen? So they have propounded so many theories. We wish to understand the beautiful teachings of all and how can they be reconciled? That is the second question he asked. And the third he asked, in this age of Kali, when the atmosphere is not pure, our health is not as strong as it is in other eras, lifespans have reduced, our chitta vritti or mind is agitated, we can't even strive for the extremely difficult paths for purification. What is the importance of devotion to Lord Ram and Lord Krishna in today's age of Kali, in such times? So the question that he posed required a very, very deep knowledge of scriptures. And the speakers would come and speak on their subjects, but they were not able to handle these questions. Yeah, Sandhya, you had a question?
There's a question in the chat from Samji, Chicago. Did Kashi Vishwat Parishad existed at the time of previous 4 Jagat Gurus?
Yes, in fact, it existed even at the time of Tulsidas, Kabir Das. They even tried to steal. I will come to that part as well. So yes, this has been an established authority even at that time. I'll talk about it. Even it was there. Now these days it's not as active, but it used to be very active in those days. Even Swami Vivekananda in his autobiography has written he went to Kashi Vishwa Parishad as well. But going back that time, you are saying, I think it did exist because there are references of Tulsidas and Kabir Das also who were given a tough time by this Parishad because they are notorious, they don't agree, and if there is a saint or something, they have given them a lot of tough time. That is how they are known to be. I'll tell you a quick story around that as well. So anyways, so what happened is speakers would come and talk about their kathas, but they were not able to address these questions until somebody came and he became totally annoyed. He said there are no answers to these questions, and if there are any answers, let Mr. Kripaluji come and answer these questions. And then he said that, I am a Swagat Adhyaksh. I'm not supposed to be having a speaker's post here, but nevertheless, if you say that, I'll do it, but only on a condition that I will speak in the end so that I have no time limit from 8 to 10. And then he started speaking about it, and then people would throng his lectures, and he would pull in the maximum crowds there. And there was one guy from Kashi Vishwa Parishad who was there as well. And he got so impressed that his name was, I think, Giridhar Sharma or Chaturvedi or somebody. And he was so impressed that he invited him over to Kashi, that why don't you come over? Nevertheless, I'll cut the story short. Finally, he goes to Kashi. He goes to Kashi, and then when he goes, then he's received by 2 elderly men, and he sits in between them in an ambassador. And they said, we have come to know that you've come here to do Shastrarth. He said, no, I've come here to, have your darshan, but nevertheless, I'm come here to settle the scores for, all the previous saints that you have troubled, which is Tulsidas, Kabir Das. Even they fed pieces of glasses to Arya Samaj founder Dayanand Saraswati, those kind of things. So I've come here to settle the scores for all of them. And then when this debate started, he was introduced to 500 scholars, and each one of them had mastered one thing, and he was introduced to 100 scriptures, prominent scriptures in Sanatan Dharam, and anybody could ask him any question or stop him anytime for a debate or anything, and he was supposed to present himself and be able to reconcile everything or alleviate their doubt. That is how they accept. So the Kashi Vishwa Parishad, it's known, they don't agree to anybody. They will challenge you, they will debate with you, they will taunt you, but they don't accept anybody as a master just like that. Okay, that is what they are notorious for. And then the first condition they put was that he's supposed to speak in Sanskrit, which he agreed. So his secretary, the person with whom they spoke, they said, can he speak in Sanskrit? When he asked, Maharaji, I have never heard you speak Sanskrit. Can you speak in Sanskrit? Because that is one of the requirement there. It's like when you go to Olympics, you are not allowed to run barefoot. Indian team was disqualified in one of the Olympics because they did not have shoes. So I said, can you speak Sanskrit? He said, what did you tell them? He said, I said, yes. He said, if you have said yes, then I will speak Sanskrit. Okay, so he had never given any discourse in Sanskrit, and he agreed. And that too in front of 500 scholars who had spent their entire life mastering one scripture. Then when he started speaking in Sanskrit, which is a schoolboy Sanskrit. And people were like, okay, who have we invited? This young guy. But when he went on, he started speaking after a few minutes in Parangat Sanskrit. Some of the Pali grammar and those kind of grammar for which even the scholars are very limited in this world. And then he kept on speaking for so many days, right? Until it came to a point where people said, okay, this knowledge is beyond our understanding. So either we have to confer him the title or we have to agree, because we can't debate with him. So they unanimously chose him as a fifth original Jagat Guru. Not only that, but the Jagat Gurutam, that he is the best of the lot, because he has not explained this philosophy from one angle, but from all the angles, and reconciled it so beautifully. And also Bhakti Rasavatar, that he's the personification of the Bhakti essence, and nobody has taught it like him before. So then he was given multiple titles. One is Srimad Pad Vakya Praman Paravareen, that one who's proficient in all schools of philosophy. Then the supreme teacher who establishes the true path of God realization as propagated by ancient Hindu scriptures, one who reconciles, and then the supreme teacher who promotes the eternal Vedic religion and supreme master of authentic Vedic schools of philosophy. So if you just try out some of his lectures, you will understand the level of knowledge that he had without reading. Okay, that is why it's called an avatari, without reading. And in fact, he's considered as an incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if you are from ISKCON, you will understand who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was. He was Radha Krishna avatar himself. To experience himself, sometime Krishna takes avatar. That was his stature. And where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had left, he picked up on that philosophy and took it to the next level. He introduced devotion to Radha Krishna and kirtans. And he said, okay, devotion to Radha Krishna, he took it to the next level, said Nishkam Bhakti. And kirtans you do, which is fine. You have been doing it for 500 years, but you need to do it with Roop Dhyan now. So where he had left, he took it to the next level. So this is why he's known as an avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well. Now, Krishna's, now I'm not going to get into this chart right now. So that is a quick introduction of Maharajji I wanted to talk about. And then he spent his life distributing the divine bliss or the prem or the devotion aspect, the Nishkam Bhakti, and to millions of people. And he trained a lot of people like Swamiji, and he in turn found people like us. So you see how that ripple effect is happening right now. And his plan, when in his lifetime, like Swamiji says, he was somebody who was never seemed to be in any hurry. His plan is going for the next 1,000 years or so, and you can already see that. And when he wrote some of his compositions like Prem Ras Madhira and the Bhakti, Prem Ras Siddhant, Prem Ras Madhira and all, they said there will be a time when people will learn Hindi just to be able to understand all the body of knowledge that he has created. And there will be doctorates and so much of work that will be done on his Bhashya on Jeev, Brahm and Maya that we speak about, the three entities, eternal entities. So many scholars are going to come and devote time in writing commentaries and doing PhDs, doctorates on that topic in the times to come. And Swamiji's university might be instrumental in, getting that going as well. So that's a quick and short introduction. I can't do justice. There are tons and tons of things about him that we can talk about, but just wanted to give you a brief introduction of who Kripalaji Maharaj is and why we celebrate Sharad Poornima. Another thing that, talking about his divinity, people say that, if anybody has washed his feet, that water never purifies. So it has the same properties that a Ganges water has, and it still goes around, right? And there are so many other incidents. There was a girl who was doing, I think when he was making Prem Mandirs, he was doing fundraising for him, little girl. So he would go to her tuitions or school, and while coming back, she would do the fundraiser. And on one of the days, while she was coming back, she was run over by a car. Okay, she was run over by a car and she just fell to the side and she blanked out. And it is said that somebody came, somebody in white suit or something came, put him in the hospital, signatures, deposits, all that took care of that part. It was very critical to get her to the hospital quickly. And then finally she was released. And she had no clue who it was. And one of her friends who used to study with him, one day, she always used to ask, who was the person who brought me to the hospital? He said, no, somebody came and that person seemed to be in a hurry after that. He just went. And one of his friends, she saw him when she would study. She had put Maharajji's picture there. She said, who is this? He said, it's the Maharajji I used to do fundraiser for. You remember? And she said, really? That was the guy who actually came that day, who actually deposited. How did it happen in that moment only? So those kind of things, people narrate some of those incidents as well. So that happened. That is why I say that when Guru is your witness and protector all the times, there are a lot of other incidents like that where people, without them realizing, he would be there. He would manifest in some form or manner and then just do what we call as magic, right? Although that was never the intent. So that was another incident that came to my mind. And when he was in forest, I think there was one Gyani who had been doing tapasya for a long time. So I think he had developed some kind of a pride, and Maharajji thought, okay, it's about time to correct that defect or do a bit of a surgery on his defect as well. So he went to that yogi and he said, what are you doing? So this yogi, through his yogic powers, had created a boundary around himself where nobody could come. Maharajji could easily walk there. And then this guy, he said that, okay, I don't like intruders here. And through his yogi powers, he invited all the ferocious animals. Maharajji just tamed them down. They would not react at all. And then this guy became a little upset that none of his powers are working against him. So he started increasing his size. He started increasing his size to scare him out. And Maharajji said, what kind of joke you are doing? He did like this and he again came back to his original size. Then he realized none of what I'm trying to do is working. Who is this guy? So then he did his telepathy to his guru who was in some cave in some maybe in Himalayas or somewhere. He said, who is this? He said, he's divinity personified. Go and bow down in front of him. And then he understood, and then he was sent to Vrindavan. And basically, those are some of the incidents he did as well. Some of them, these do seem like metaphysical miracles, but people who are in close association with him would know that. So he's, they felt so many such things around that. But his main purpose, actually, of his avatar was to do the corrections around some of the misconceptions that had pervaded Sanatan Dharam. So many sampradayas which started fighting, God is Dvait, Advait, and then the ritualistic thing and the mechanical devotion which had taken place. The mind aspect had taken a backseat. So he corrected all that. And then if anybody has come in touch with his sublime philosophy, you will understand this is a knowledge you cannot get anywhere at all. Okay. With immaculate logic and no loose ends and with scriptural references. The way he explains, whether you listen to his Main Kaun Mera Kaun or any of his lecture series, you will be like blown away. You just need an open mind, listen to out and you will know it. It cannot be anything other than divinity speaking through his mouth. So just wanted to tell about Maharajji, a little bit that we have heard from Swamiji and other devotees, and some of the documented lectures around it. So hope now you are able to at least appreciate who Maharajji was and why do we celebrate Sharad Poornima, the significance of this festival as well. I'll take a quick break now. Any questions?
Yes, there is a question from Monica ji. Bit all my nails. Maharajji's any encounter with Radha Krishna? Question mark.
Okay, I didn't touch that because this will be a topic in itself. Okay, so I will answer this question through telling you the different kind of avatars and hierarchies. Okay, so that is a topic for tomorrow. You can chew the remaining nails and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so I'll tell you the different types of gurus. What are the possibilities? Type 1, type 2, which category did he belong to? And we will understand this whole concept then. Okay. So one more day.
And I wanted to add two things. Like one, that Maharajji explained everything in such a simple way that like at least a person like me could understand it as well as appreciate it, right? He also would say gadhe ki akal se samjho, and that's like one of my favorite statements.
Gadhe ki akal samjho. And those gadha, if you know, in his audience used to be some of the leading IAS officers, okay, who would come and listen to that. And a lot of devotees who would get, there was one of my friends who used to be devotee, used to go to his Mangad sadhana shivir. So there was people would come, they would put their sleeping bags, wake up at 3 or 4 in there, do sadhana, again do their thing, quiet, nobody will talk to anybody, again sleep and move on. So he said, I was doing, and there was a guy who used to be next to me, and one day he asked, so, how long you've been following? He said, for a few years now. And then he said, he didn't ask anything. So I wanted to tell him who I am. So he said, I've come from US. He said, oh yeah, it's good to know. And then he said, so what do you do? We asked him. So he said, I'm an IT engineer. And he started talking about, bragging about himself, this and that. And then he also asked, what do you do? He said, I'm an IAS officer. He was like, oh my God, So those kind of people used to come as well. In fact, Maharajji used to say, when he used to give lectures, Sakshat Saraswati and Brahmaji would also come and sit there. So the level of knowledge that he gives, you can be rest assured, it is the best, the cream of the cream of the cream on this planet. Just listen to that lecture, you'll understand. No loose ends and so logically explained. See, when I came in touch with Swamiji, I was like, from engineering background, that is why he can tell things very logically in a structured manner. So, but who would have trained him? Who's his guru? But when I listened to him, he said, oh my God, he goes, it's the same thing where this whole thing is coming. He's also building layer by layer by layer. And he keeps on building on that. So immaculate logic and with scriptural references, and then he will build concept one after another after another. If you read his book, Prem Ras Siddhant, Philosophy of Divine Love, I'll say definitely buy a copy and start reading it. You'll understand how he explains concepts so beautifully. And there's nothing to be known after that if you start reading those kind of things. Yeah.
And right, he would get these Vedic Rijhai, the scriptures live in front of him while he's giving a lecture, and then they'll be like, choose one line from me, choose one shloka from me, and then he'll just say, amazing.
Swamiji says when he used to sometimes he used to tell me in a lighter vein that Mano, it seems as if somebody is hammering my head when I sit and speak. Why? Because when you are at that level, the gods Aishwarya Shakti, they start serving you. So it's like you're sitting and the whole universe, they're coming in front of you, Rijhas, and say, okay, take my seva, take my seva, take my seva, reveal me, reveal me. And he has to pick and choose while giving the lecture. Okay, I'll do this. So that is how he used to speak. And he never used to read. And amazing. And you know what he would do in those days? Snail mail, people would write to him. He would write to him. So he had a routine. I think he used to wake up at 2:30 or 3, hardly 2 to 3 hours he would sleep. And that too, we don't know whether he used to sleep or not. So he would write letters. He would receive letters and write response to every letter, whoever would write him a letter. And people would say he would not only respond to what they had asked, but also respond to what they were thinking and they could not possibly ask or could not articulate. They will get answers for that as well. That is how he would write every day to them. So experiences basically around him. Yeah. So, but yeah, there are a lot of other stories as well, maybe for some other day. But yeah, this whole story of him getting to, and then he built a Prem Mandir as well. Prem Mandir as well. And he was very jovial nature and would do things that people basically very jovial nature. He would make keep people in splits around him. Those shairis, you can just imagine, very, very, very jovial personality that he had throughout his life. Yeah.
So it is all like going generation by generation from disciple, from master to disciple, like from Maharajji to Swamiji, from Swamiji to you, and we get it.
It's not a correct hierarchy, okay? We, it is from Maharajji was Maharajji, okay? There's no, but then he personally trained people, right? And some of them have created a platform for people like us who can sit and talk and discuss this, right? Which is a very, but there is no cycle or hierarchy. It just stops at Maharajji and Swamiji. That is how it is. So we are just fortunate that we have access to this knowledge and we can talk a little bit, about it. But it's only because of Maharajji, right? And then we don't know in the generations to come how much more this prachar will take off and so many people will benefit from it. But yeah, if you have not had exposure to him, if you listen to him, I don't know. And he used to say, I'll tell you, there are a lot used to be Westerners who would come and listen to him. And although they did not understand Hindi, they would understand his lectures. I don't know how he used to make it happen. And for that matter, he knew English as well. He knew Arabic as well. There was nothing he did not know. Of course, he was an Avatari Purush, right? Although he did not make a public appearance of it, but there are certain lectures he has delivered. He has even addressed certain people in Arabic as well. English also he could speak fluently. Never gave that, right? Lectures, but he just knew everything. And some of his Prashnotris, if you go through that, they are like at a different level altogether. The kind of answers, spot on answers that he'll give you. Because he was Jagat Guru Tam, you could go to him with any questions. And I have heard some of his interactions. Swamiji in his earlier days, he would ask him, those recordings are there. And the way he would answer, they're very fascinating conversations between them. But people who came in contact with him initially, of course, they've had certain Sanchit karmas to have that association. But we are also fortunate, even not directly, but indirectly, we are getting that knowledge. And that is also a big deal. And he used to say, people who would listen to me with faith and open mind, even on a TV, I will capture their hearts. That much power he had. Okay. Not had, he has even now. So I would say.
Yeah, right now also he's only operating all of us, right? Surendraji says, lucky are we to be listening to trainees of Maharajji and Swamiji and CIC. Huh?
I wish we were trainees, right? We were not qualified enough to be trainees, but yeah, in some form or manner, we got some kind of an association, which is our good fortune. But yeah, I had an opportunity, never prioritized it. And Maharajji was still.
It's meant to be like this, Nitinji.
But yeah.
Okay, we have few hands and then we have something.
10 o'clock, by the way, Shilpa ji, if you're there, you can raise your hand. We are going to treat you to a very nice bhajan today, which you can't miss out on. We'll do it sharp at 10. So if you are there, Shilpa Gupta ji is there. There's another Shilpa ji. So there's another Shilpa who has asked specifically. So if you come, please keep an eye out for her. Let me check it out. Let's take, I see a few hands. We can discuss.
Yeah. Okay, I will first take the one with video on. Monica ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Nitin ji, when he said that if you listen to Maharajji with faith, he'll capture your heart, right? So I had to share this experience, and I'm sure you witnessed it during family camp when we got the opportunity to become Sakha and Sakhi of Maharajji. And at that time, I had faith in Swamiji, and it's obviously now, of course, Maharajji, because I came to know a lot about Maharajji, not just now, after family camp, when I experienced that thing. So basically, I became Sakhi that day, and I was, talking to Nitinji also, that Nitinji, we have the small idol of Maharaji, and then, we are in this seva, and then, what does it mean and stuff like that. So we were trying to figure out how will we display it, right? And then because Swamiji sort of suggested that, some of you can become Sakha and Sakhi, I just thought that, let me just participate, because I did not know about Maharaji at that time. And then when I went there and I did that, chavar, and then when we, when the coffee and the popcorn was given, and then I just started crying. I just couldn't stop crying, and camera was there. I was trying to not cry because it was embarrassing, but I just couldn't. And then I spoke to Nitinji, can I touch him? Right? And then Swamiji was also smiling. I have no words to express. But then that when you said this, that, he'll capture you, that fate that day, I'm still shivering talking about that, because Shreyaji said that, you'll feel his presence. And I did that day. So I'm glad. We are so fortunate. So fortunate.
Yeah. I'll tell you a quick story. I'll not tell which devotee it's, sir. Just listen to the story carefully. He would break the stereotypes that you have in mind. The saint should look like this. He should talk like this, walk like this. So many things he would do that, because he was at a different level. So there was a devotee who was a Shiv devotee, big time. Okay, he was a Shiv devotee, and he was a very sincere sadhak. A devotion has to be done like this and this. And his upbringing was such that, you have to be disciplined, but Shiv devotee. I mean, you can just understand that way. Until he came across this book, Prem Ras Siddhant. And then he read that book. He said this book cannot be written by anybody other than divine. That much conviction he had. And I have to meet this person. Okay, so when he went all the way up to Mangad or somewhere, he figured out where he could meet the author of this book. Okay, and he went with some kind of an expectation that, he will look like this, talk like this, walk like this. This will be his demeanor and all that. We have some expectation, right? Because of our material conditioning. So he was thinking like that, I'm going to meet this person. And then somebody said, hey, Maharaj is coming, Maharaj is coming. That's this way is coming. He said, okay. He looked at there. So he was imagining somebody in saffron. There was a person coming in blue, blue attire, not the saffron one that day, blue. Okay, and then with gobs on, and he's jovially walking like this. And then he came and sat down on the, the bed, and put his feet on the bed. So somebody said, bow down to his feet. He said, feet? Which feet? He has sports shoes on. So his complete thing was shaken away that day. How can somebody divine saint could be like this? Okay. And then when he would look at it, and he would, he would behave like this in front of him, because probably he was challenging him at that time. When he would look at him, that, he cannot be saint. When he's reading the book, it has to be divinity. So that dvand started happening in his head. That debate. Is he divine? Is he this? Is this real or is this real? That happened for a week. And he said, I was doing spiritual transgression for a week, saying it cannot be divine. It cannot be divine. And then he detested Bollywood songs, because he was a sincere student. Right? Bhajans and all that stuff. He would read books. He hated Bollywood. And one day, he was writing, later on he said he was writing Prem Ras Madhira those days, by the way. So what he would do, Maharaj, he would write something in between. He will give lecture, talk to people, do some fun things, and then again he'll keep on to writing. He was writing these days, and he started telling people, it's some Bollywood song, let's sing that. Okay, because he's sitting there and he's looking at him, and he said, enough. I have reached a snapping point. It cannot be divinity. I'm going to walk away from this place. Okay, and when he was about to walk off, he said, enough of it, I'm going away. Because for 7 days he was debating in his head. And then he looked at him for one last time. And before walking off, when he looked back at him, he stared back at him. And he said that stare, and I gave my life away to him after that. I don't know what he did. Okay, that's it. He gave his entire life to him after that. So he just took him to that point where, okay, you need to challenge some of your stereotypes. The saint should talk like this, walk like this. And after that, everything was, I don't know what he did. Maybe something, love and melt, we can't even understand. He said, I gave my life after that to him. So those kind of, so many experiences are out there. So,
he could have done that.
He was very good at challenging this thing. And even with Swamiji tells, when he went to him, he came with an understanding that in ISKCON, people hold Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. So, and people used to talk in hushed tones that he is an avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he went with that part. Okay, I'm going to meet the avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the very first time he met, he had his back towards Swamiji. And without looking at him, he said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ko Aishwarya Chintan pasand nahi tha. He did not like the Aishwarya, the magnificence, if you think about like him. So in so many ways, he confirmed that he could read his mind, is telling him what he's thinking. And then he said, first you grow hair and leave these beads and then come to me. Because Swamiji was without hair and, doing that beads. He said, grow hair, get these beads off and let's get them. Then I'll train you, kind of a deal it happened. So, but yeah, he was a perfect master. And of course, he was and who was he? We will talk more about it tomorrow. I'll pick up on that. That will give you more depth into how some of these gurus come and which category do they belong to. So we'll talk about that. It's one of my favorite slides. I didn't touch it today because it would be a discussion of its own tomorrow. Yes, Aparna ji.
Whoever met Maharaj Ji in person, they all really testified this, that he would just capture you with his eyes. That eye contact is more than enough.
Only those whom he chooses to grace, not everybody.
Yeah.
Chooses to grace, yeah. And it was called Kripalu. His name was Kripalu because it was a Kripa avatar. Kripa avatar means that it has come for mercy for people. And it is like a Black Friday sale. You hit, right? People like me who are not even eligible get picked up. So it was a Black Friday sale and we have all gotten benefited from it. Let's make the most of it because it was a Kripa avatar. Whether you have an eligibility or not, something would have made us eligible in some form or manner, whether we got direct association or not, but somehow that links were established, whether it's through Swamiji, through sessions, through video, through lectures, anything. If that link is established, that means he's captured your heart and we are one of the fortunate ones.
Yes, Aparna ji, Radhe Radhe, thank you for waiting.
Radhe Aparna ji.
Radhe Radhe, Vipin ji. I started my journey with JK Yoga for about 18 months now. I did not know anything about Maharaj Ji, but I heard some during his 100th birthday last year. For a newbie like me, where should I start? I mean, what do you suggest? Like, videos or video series or books or
you listen to Swamiji and you let yourself grow into it. Don't force yourself into it because some of it could be really deep philosophy. So whatever works for you, some Narad Bhakti Darshan is Maikon, Merakon is my favorite. I always recommend people who want to listen, go to Maikon, Merakon. But very few people survive 2 or 3 because it is so deep. First of all, you have to be alert. It's not like a leisure thing that you are listening. You have to be very alert and join the points what he's talking about. And so because it's very, very deep. But if you can survive 7 lectures on a trot, then you will say there's nothing more to be known after this kind of a deal. It's a 100 or 102 lecture series, very deep. But you have to listen to it with rapt attention. But I would say you don't have to really force yourself into it. There are small things you can listen. But Swamiji has actually made it even more palatable for us. So if you listen to Swamiji, you are getting introduced to his philosophy only in a manner that you can digest. But if you think you're brave, go ahead and listen to some of the series and you will see, okay, my God, how can, he explain such profound concept to such great depths so easily. Yeah.
They are all in Hindi, right?
Hindi. They're all in Hindi. Some of them might be subtitles. Subtitles would be there. English.
Okay.
I think a lot of
And did he have a different name? I mean, is Kripalu Maharaj his given name or is that his real name?
The actual name is RKT, Ram Kripalu Tripathi. RKT, Radha Krishna Temple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Okay, there are some questions in the chat. There's a comment. Sun ray from Ajit ji. Sun rays have same quality of sun. That's the analogy between Maharaj ji and Nitin ji. It may be difference of level or capacity.
Don't fast track me to hell or anywhere. Nothing of that sort. See, just the fact that I'm able to talk about it does not even give me qualification. I'm telling you myself honestly, right? Maharaj ji is Maharaj ji, of course. We were not even worthy enough to get his association just to see him, right? But I will still consider ourselves fortunate because of Swamiji. We are sitting here and talking and contemplating on this knowledge. But I wish, 0.000000001% of what you said was correct, okay, and I would have been so happy. But the fact is that's not. There's so much of work that needs to be done, and I hope in one of the lifetimes that becomes a reality.
And there is a question from Sri Ramyaji. What is the difference between Premras Siddhant and Premras Madhira?
Premras Siddhant is a philosophy on divine love. It is a very encapsulation of pretty much anything and everything which is there in our scriptures to be understood from a devotee standpoint. Premras Madhira is more Kirtan Ras, right? When you have Madhurya Bhav, when you have Vira Bhav, when you are meeting Krishna. So it is Premras Madhira is more Kirtan Ras. Okay, so it's if you have grown up to that, then people enjoy that more. So Premras Madhira is more Kirtan, that is more philosophy. But in Maharaji's Kirtan, the beauty is Kirtan also have philosophy. If you listen to them carefully, deep philosophy in very simple words.
And there is this question from Smita ji. There are other philosophies, so are they wrong? Which one is correct, or are they all correct?
So other philosophies, like I explained you, right? They are explained from a particular lens. Desh, Kal, Niyam, Patra, they are all come into picture, right? When are you preaching that philosophy? What is appropriate for those times? Who are the audience to whom you are telling it to? So those are there. So it's like trying to explain an elephant from a particular angle. So somebody might explain you are God, because that is something that is needed at that time, like Shankaracharya did, because Buddhism had, they had basically told that Vedas are forget about Vedas. So in order to reestablish, they continued from where Buddhism had left. And then the next aspect was introduced that, okay, there is a similarity with you have with God, but yet you are different. And then condition. So it is built over time. So all philosophies are correct if you subscribe to one, right? And you are not able to reconcile, then when you come in contact with the Guru who can reconcile, you look at it that way. But all philosophies are right, but they are only a limited viewpoint of that particular absolute truth. And Maharaj has reconciled it for us, everything. Like some people say God is only formless. Some people say God has only form. He said not only formless, but also as a form. So he reconciled everything. That's how we have to look at it.
And so, okay, there is another comment from Surendra ji. Devotional fortune befalls all the attendees of Nitin Prabhu sessions. Thanks. And there is a comment from Tarunji. Premras Siddhant is Gad theory, while Premras Madhira is Pad poetry.
Yeah, that is more poetry and bhajan for sure.
And Pallavi ji says that there is an English version also of Maikon Mera Kon. She has also read it, and people can check that out.
Version of Maikon Mera Kon or Premras Siddhant Philosophy of Divine?
Maikon Mera Kon.
She's read it or heard it?
She has read it. Yeah, she's saying it's called Who Am I and Who Is Mine. There is an English version of the book, I guess. There's a book on this.
There's a book also on that?
That's what it appears to me. I haven't come across it, but that's what she says.
If there is one, then that will be nice.
Yeah.
It is pretty profound, I'm telling you. I've read it, heard it in bits and pieces, maybe in continuity as well, but it is very deep. But if you pay attention, you'll be able to understand every part of it.
There is this one thing that I quickly wanted to show. Can I?
I know we have overshot the time today, so we'll continue. You wanted to show something, we can do that. Shilpa ji, if you are there, other Shilpa ji, you are welcome to sing as well. But there's one Shilpa ji that we have. She wanted to sing today. I was waiting for her. I didn't see her. So if you are here, please come over. But yeah, go ahead, Sandhya. Let's cover the other things that we had.
Yeah, I mean, before that, I just wanted to show this because this is like our Sharad Poornima special session where we are celebrating Maharaji's birthday. So this is what Maharaji wrote himself as what he would like to get as a gift for his birthday. This is his handwriting, and as you can see, his signature also at the end. And what it really means, so I'm not reading the Hindi version, but in English, in short, what it really means is, on his birthday, he is asking only for one gift, that day and night adorn your beloved Sri Krishna and Radha with the tears of your love. So that's the only thing he has asked from all of us as a gift for his birthday. So yeah, I really, really loved it. So I wanted to share it with everyone.
Very nice. Beautiful. Asuvan Mala, they say, right?
Yes.
And then we will talk about the topic of Guru 4.34 in great detail. We will talk about all the aspects of Guru. You know, how do you come in contact with the Guru? When do you know you have met a right Guru? What are some of the characteristics of a spiritual Guru? And then how do you become a good disciple? So we'll cover all those concepts. We're going to spend a good amount of time on that topic when we get to that.
So, quick sharing of Seva scoreboard, Nitinji.
Yeah, a couple of things I wanted to let you know that the axis of sun is going to change again during winters, starting next Sunday. So what it means for us is that the sessions will continue on 9 p.m. CST, but for India, it will be 1 hour later. So instead of 7:30, it will be 8:30. And then East Coast and all, you'll have to adjust accordingly. It will continue to be at 9 p.m. Central. For mountain, I think the time would change. It would become 1 hour later. But that adjustment would be applied from November 5th. But we will keep reminding you that. And also this Thursday, we have a photograph day. Okay, go ahead, Sandhya. I wanted to share something and then we can wrap up our session.
This time you will be surprised to see the scoreboard, I tell you. Let's see.
Sure.
Can you see the scores of enthusiastic team? And do you see other teams in comparison to enthusiastic team?
Enthusiastic team
is 68,268.
What have you done?
I don't know. That we will hear from Monica ji maybe, but yeah. So, okay, Shamji has already raised hand as I expected.
Are you objecting to that, Shamji?
Okay, so but let me just quickly cover this and then we can take the hands. So yeah, enthusiastic team is leading by extreme margin.
You are light years away from other teams right now, Monica ji. You may want to share what happened.
And yeah, but just to add, Vinamra, Selfless, Ananya, all the 4 teams were active in the last week. They have all been adding their scores. Nobody's at 0. And I see Vinamra team members also in, most of the categories. And other team members are also there. Selfless also. And of course, Enthusiastic is there everywhere. Top scores, all top 5 people from Enthusiastic.
It seems like enthusiastic teams was entering a lot of zeros and sudden put a 1 behind it. Like
I think it could also be an impact of the recent Kahoot, because people have added their scores, and if most of the people from enthusiastic team played Kahoot and added their scores, that could have really made a difference. But and also I must mention, for the Diwali reel, almost every member of enthusiastic team has actually made their reel and posted it on Instagram. So that also is something that would count towards it. So first of all, cheers.
That video on our CIC as well. It's a very nicely compiled video from the BG participants. So let's put that. That's our gift to Maharajji.
Yes, we will get it beautified from our experts and then we will post it. Okay, there were all the hands which were raised have gone down on their own. I don't know.
Feedback tracker, please share that if not already.
I have shared number of times. Shamji, Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे संध्या, नितिन जी, मोनिका जी का कैमरा ऑफ हो गया। ये जो नंबर्स बढ़ते हैं कैसे बढ़ते हैं? हम लोग सब ना, मेरे ग्रुप वाले आर लाइक मी ओनली, कोई कुछ करता ही नहीं है मेरे जैसे, और बाकी लोग आर सो एंथुजियास्टिक, एनर्जेटिक, दे आर आफ्टर एवरीथिंग. So if somebody can also give us the booster or impetus or pump or push so that we can also add numbers. I do not know how does this goes to thousands, lakhs. हम लोग तो 100 में नहीं आ पाते हैं. इसका राज if somebody can share with us?
I don't know. To be honest, Monica ji can tell. I think there is a concept of Mata Ana, right? So the team gets Mata in them at times, and that's how they outperform so many teams. I don't know. Something that
But हम तो भक्त बिहारी जी के, वो तो सबके पिताजी हैं, माताजी हैं. So I have to
you
talk
need
to
to
Bihari.
pull your team along, Shyamji. You have to inspire them, and I think Monica ji is going to answer your question right now. And I got your question. I'm going to take that topic on in Himachal and Pahadi
guess-
areas. There's a very common concept of Mata Ana. Okay, what does it mean? Basically,
I know, yeah.
question is, once Mata comes, why does Mata go away? I think we'll
Yeah.
talk.
Yes, I get that. Yeah. And I guess we have not added our Kahoot quiz points, I guess. That's why we are way below. And maybe it also boils down to the age factor. मेरे ग्रुप में मेरे अलावा सब बूढ़े हैं भाई. I do not know how to inspire them. They're way lacking behind everywhere. And I guess they occupied with their
Jyoti
family.
has been filling it actively, Shyamji.
एक ज्योति है करती संध्या, और कोई नहीं करता. बेचारी वही पुश करती है सबको.
We'll
नहीं,
figure
ठीक है.
out.
Good to know that we all are leading and it's a real seva. I was only pushed by नितिन भाई for doing सेवा, but उन्होंने मुझे छोड़ दिया है. मुझे पुश नहीं करते हैं आजकल, तो मेरे वो छूट गया है. आई गेस मुझे वो वरदान मिला हुआ है, मुझे कोई पुश करे तो कुछ काम करूंगा.
Let me tell to the teams. Okay, we have Jagat Gurutam Divas coming up in January. There's a lot of time. So now you can start preparing for it already. It could be a skit, it could be anything. So we're giving you a sufficient heads up, Shyam bhai. So get started. You have a lot of time to organize yourself and infuse life into your team.
And Nitin ji, Shyamji is saying intermittently आपको Shyamji को भी enthuse करना होगा. He likes that, and without that he wouldn't
Do
work.
that. Let me call
It is
you.
again, it is the food I need every now and then, because otherwise I just go in my own zone shell. I guess that's some issue with me.
आप फिर लो इनके लिए वैसे.
Sure. I will give you a call if that's what you're asking for. Sure.
Awesome.
Okay. Let's hear from Shriramya Tuladi. I know we are getting so we can wrap up in next 5 minutes.
Shilpa Di not coming.
Shilpa is not coming. I think she ditched us, so that's okay. Yeah, Shriramya, go ahead.
I am unable to unmute you, Shriramya ji.
Shriramya ji, you have become unmutable today. Kavita, what was your name? Tell me that in the Kahoot quiz. I'm always interested in your performance.
Chicky, what was your name?
I was not playing.
You were playing. And your name was...
I'm sorry, I cannot disclose my name.
Your name was Guesswork.
No.
Rani?
Guesswork was, I think, Arunji. Maybe. I'm not... I think he said that at some point of time.
I cannot tell actually. Sorry.
Possible.
And now please mute me.
Okay. Shriramya, are you able to unmute yourself?
I am unable to unmute her. Nitin ji, if you want to try. Oh, she's also saying she's not able to unmute her. Okay, and Lakshmi ji also said she is also very much interested in knowing how is it happening, like the skyrocketing scores of enthusiastic team. And she's asking, please give some advice so that we can also get that much scores.
Monica ji, you have to say something now. Okay. But she's choosing to remain silent today, which is fine. We'll figure out the secret.
Okay, she has raised hand. Okay, Monica ji, Radhe Radhe. Go ahead.
राधे राधे. नितिन जी आप बोले और हम ना बोले, ऐसे नहीं हो सकता कभी भी. So it's basically, Shyamji, be enthusiastic. First thing. Second thing, start entering scores. We did for Kahoot. And then third is, everybody in the team is actually very sincere. And they made reels on Diwali Mera. So that's how it's all Bhagwa. The board is all Bhagwa.
Simple recipe. All right, Shyamji, let's talk about it. I'll give you some ideas and we'll inspire your team, okay? I'll personally work with you on that. Great.
Shyamji made Pallavi ji upset. Now you will have to convince her separately. इन्होंने बूढ़े वाला कमेंट कर दिया ना, मेरे अलावा सब बूढ़े हैं।
Okay, all right then. ठीक है, I think over. So I'm already thinking about Brahma Muhurat. Monica ji freaks me out. So we had a pretty extended session. Tomorrow we'll do satsang, bhajans as well, and continue on our discussion. But hope you enjoyed the session around the Sharad Poornima and got to know a few new facts about Maharaj Ji and are able to appreciate, who he was. And it's only because of him that we are sitting here today. Okay, he's the mastermind behind it, and we're just playing along. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Radhe Radhe. Good night. Good day from my side. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining for an exciting Kahoot as well as amazing session on Sharad Poornima. Radhe Radhe. See you all tomorrow. Have a great day and good night.
Good night. Good day.